Sup, my name is Ray for the TheYugiohCouncil. It's time for Tech Tuesday. But first, before we go straight into the two cards that we were talking about, I'm going to run down just in case you're new to Tech Tuesday. We spend about 5 minutes on each card. Sometimes it's 10 minutes on one, sometimes it's 3 on one. It depends how many cards we're talking about in the week. This week we're talking about two that were very popular at the previous YCS on the 6th of September. And I've been meaning to talk about it, but I just haven't. One last thing. Subscriber Showcase will fully return in October in about 2 weeks once we get to the new format, so that way people can actually prepare. I'm actually asking you guys to send in some replays. I mean, if you want to send them in now, send them in directly now because everything is not working. I'm trying to go through everything that I can get to work before we get to this new format. And I'm going to start doing that tomorrow after Stock Markets films. Anyway, let's go into the first card, which is going to be Karma Cut. And you should already seen that much. There's a reason I want to talk about Karma Cut. Two reasons. One, it has experienced a price jump. So if you don't own these already, you're kind of basically missed the boat. If you missed the boat, don't feel bad. Everything gets fucking reprinted sooner or later. This will too. It is a $6 common right now. And the biggest question on people's mind is, why the fuck is it $6 again? Shadows. Because Window basically stops every freaking deck in its way, people are main decking Karma Cut with their Vanity's Emptiness to counteract the Windows. Now, both of these cards can be used, either used or used against the Shadow matchup. Keep that in mind. Karma Cut works against if you play Mirror. Karma Cut works for against it if you're not playing Shadow. Say you're playing Satella Knights. Let's talk about the benefits, the pros, the cons. If you're running Sunlight Burning Abyss, this gives you an easy out to the window, and it also allows you to trigger your graveyard effects. If you're playing something like Infernities, hey, Herp Derp, put that fucking Archfiend in the graveyard, get one less out of my hand, and let's do this. Now, if you're playing something super old called Dark Worlds, not super old, but in Yu-Gi-Oh terms it is, if you're playing Dark Worlds, it will not trigger the effect because this is a cost effect, just like Phoenix Will and Wind Blast. I know many of you probably knew that already, but I just say it for the audience that does or may not know, so that way that question's out of the way. It is not a negative to discard a card when you're going to basically go plus or get out of a sticky situation to a boss monster that otherwise will either A, shut your deck down, or B, completely ruin your deck. Now, this card is very favorable right now, but there's not big tournaments, so it's kind of a what the fuck factor that it jumped up in price so fast. But again, we come to understand that when a YCS happens, this is, hype train status. Cards like Trapstone, cards like MST, they're gonna get rid of this, just like every other trap card. We can always argue that shit. Always. But in the matchups that it's going to be used against is pretty much across the board. Just saying you go against a random ass Monarch and they summon a fucking Treeborn Frog. What are you going to want to do? You want to get the Treeborn Frog off the board, right? You don't want to send it to the top of the deck. So, play the Karma Cut, banish out the Treeborn, they're stuck without a Treeborn, they're going to have to set up again. It's easy to understand why this card is so good. Easy as hell. I'm not fully sure if some of the Shadows get their effects. I don't believe they do. But then again, someone will correct me in the comments. I don't have to really worry about that as much because I haven't been doing the research for that because I've been more focused on giving you guys premium content in a way, kind of thing. Working in behind the scenes kind of thing. Now, if your deck gets in trouble with Armades, this is great counter Armades if you're playing Shadows. Again, you get stuck against Window, this is a great counter. If you go against something named Evil Swarm, which is like Super Rogue Edition, this is going to shut them off. But you have to get them to chain the infestation first and then do this after. One of my favorite things that people seem to be having a little bit of trouble with, I'm just going to mention it, is Battery Man. Hey, guess what? I take a Battery Man off the board, you can't really special as much as you normally would. There you go. Oh my god, that's pretty easy to understand. Oh, you summoned the morale tag? Bye-bye. It gets rid of everything. But I'm a little more excited. I'm not even going to bullshit. I'm a little more excited to talk about the next card, Burst Return. And I think, hopefully, you guys will be as excited to hear about it in a moment. boom, Burst Return comes on the field, brings back that Falcon, only 2,000 light point cost. Guess what? Light points are irrelevant because no one's really playing Warning in Shaddolls because Patrick Hope. I went there. Jokingly. Now, 2,000 is pretty hefty, but then again we play Warning, so we don't have to worry about the cost here. So what the fuck is Burst Return? Well, I'm actually going to have to head over to my computer over here and take a quick look to remind myself. You can pay 2,000 light points and target one monster in your graveyard, especially that targeting face down defense position. Now again, why the hell is this so good in just Shaddolls or just everywhere else? I'm not even gonna bullshit. Shaddolls did not tech this in first. It was actually Raccoons, if you guys remember a few formats back, probably around like 2 or 3. The Raccoons would use it to bring back the Pon Pon or the Tan Tan. I think it's a Pon Pon. God, their names are so freaking weird and adorable at the same time. Anyway, that's irrelevant. You basically would use it to get the face down one, the one with the drums that says I special one. Then you would use him to special another one instead of for your Raccoon Master. This is pretty much almost the same scenario, except that you're setting up for Falcon, or Dragon, or the Lizard, or the Beast, or the 20 other Shadow names, which I don't remember, but they basically do flip effects. This makes it 10 times easier. Now, if someone wanted to say, I don't know, use Magician of Fate, this would be a great way to do so. That Raikou that you're main decking, this is a great way to pull it out, you know? Let's talk about cons. That 2,000 light point cost is super hefty, I'm not even gonna lie. But then again, we play Warning, so it's kind of a minor cost. We'll give it a minor notice, not gonna give it a -1. Can easily stop by Trap Zone, someone says. Every trap card can, as I said in the beginning of the video. That's not even relevant. That's playing against trap cards. That's not countering this. That's not, you know, why this is a negative. The reason this is a negative is mainly if your deck does not use face down effects or is very vulnerable to Noble Man of Extermination. No, Noble Man of Crossout. I'm not saying extermination. If you're vulnerable to Noble Man of Crossout, then this is not going to help that scenario. But if you're in a tight scenario where your opponent's about to OTK you, and you can use Falcon, and then Falcon bring back another one to survive, then the 2,000 light points is irrelevant because you just saved your own ass. I mean, it's just lovely. Now, Patrick Hoban himself did not play it in the deck from what I've gathered. He was more going the Lightsworn route with 3 Lila and 2 Raiden, or was it 3 Raiden and 2 Lila? It was somewhere around those ratios. There's 5 Lightsworns, that's all that really matters. The point is, oh, and that reminds me, we're actually going to be talking about one other card. Ooh, surprise, we're going to be talking about one other card, but it's going to be after this, before I wrap this up here, because it just triggered in my mind to talk about it, so we're going to add it in. Anyways, Burst Return has pluses in anything that's going to use flip effects, face down, set up, all that good stuff. If your deck is not that, this card is not for you. If you're playing Shaddolls, I would recommend trying it out, but proxy it to see if it works for you, or just go through the rares and buy one and see if it works. It's an interesting tech card, I'm not even going to lie. Hence the name Tech Tuesday. Let's go to our third, because it's triple edition now. Surprise, you probably already knew in the titles, I just randomly decided. Let's go to our third card, Outstanding Dog Maron. I could not believe on the stock market that this was $10 freaking until someone explained it to me. I'm not even going to bullshit about that. This is pretty much the best light card you can use in Shaddolls if you're playing basically pure Shaddolls without putting the Lightsworns in, or you don't want to taint your deck with Lightsworns and you want to play back with. Why is it so good, you may say? Because you know that fusion that you want to bring out that requires a light, but your deck doesn't play light, and there's nothing good enough for you to play because your deck is OP as shit without those lights holding you back. Joking here. Joking somewhat. But in all seriousness, if you want to use it, you only have to basically run the one damn copy of Outstanding Dog Maron, because every time it's sent to the graveyard, its ass is going back into the deck. So you can summon your giant 2800 beater, I think it is, that it just destroys special summon monsters. Look at my hand going. And basically, the outstanding dog maron will go back in the deck, and then you can use it again to bring out another one, and another one, and another one. And another, well, you get the idea now. Basically, you would only have to give up one freaking spot. You could run two, could side the second one, whatever. That's up to you. But you would only need to main deck one to get the full efficiency out of this shit. But Ryu, what are the negatives of running Outstanding Dog Maron? Because its name is outstanding. Dare I say, that is outstanding. But there is one negative, one possible negative. But again, if you go back to the beginning of this video and talk about Karma Cut, and you decide to run Karma Cut with this shit, that shit goes out the window and becomes a positive. Believe it or not, it does. Okay, example. I need a top deck situation. I top deck Outstanding Dog Maron. Motherfucker. Set it on the board, dies, goes back to the deck. 1 in a million chance I draw it again, son of a bitch. But in all seriousness, it is an outstanding, amazing card for Shadows to use if you're not using the Light Sworns and you want access into that fusion. But I'm telling you now, Shadows are the only thing right now in this case scenario that could really get a benefit off it, unless we go into an empty jar format where everyone's main decking empty jar. This shit's on empty jar because it keeps coming back. Booyah! On another note, thank you for watching. Let me know down in the comments any Tech Tuesday idea that we have yet to use or do, or any card we have yet to discuss on Tech Tuesday. I always like hearing from you guys and always like using it. And you know when I use it, when I do, I give shout out to you. Finally, this Sunday we will be launching a brand new series called Shout Out Sunday, which is basically, it's the child of Subscriber Showcase in a way. Everyone's going to call it Sunday Showcase, but I feel like Shout Out Sunday Showcase maybe a little too much with the S's. Maybe that's just me. But we'll figure it out name-wise fully then. But we are launching that, so if you're a YouTuber that would like to be featured in a future episode, keyword here, future episode, because we already lined someone up for the first week, then please leave it in the comments. Let me know, you just want to be shout out in the video, and I can go to your channel and film a little bit of your channel so that way people know what you have. And Yugi514 hitting me up on Skype. But that way people know what you have and why they should go and subscribe, not to sound like an asshole. Finally, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to slap it with a like button. No, that's how it takes. Slap it like a newborn pig. Just slap it. So good. So weird. So good. Anyway, I like being a little bit nutty. Finally, if you're new to the channel, you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe for more. Because every Tuesday we do Tech Tuesdays, every Wednesdays we do Stock Market, every Monday we do hardcore discussions about whatever we feel like talking about in the week, and then Thursdays it switches between the weeks, and that's just for right now because I'm not fully back into the meta, feeling yet. But I feel Thursday is going to be amazing. But I'm over welcoming my stay. Excuse me while I go watch Sons of Anarchy, and I will see you on the next video. I'm ready for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. Or what you? Peace.